Hey everybody, Jason, Time in the Outdoors. We're going to be checking just a few areas where we can maybe get out fishing right now. Okay, we're going to look at where we're going to be going before we dive into the actual report. So this is the city of Oshkosh right there. That's where we're going to be starting out. And then we're actually going to make our way up the Fox and Wolf Rivers. The Fox River actually joins the Wolf River right here in Lake Butamore, where the Fox actually dumps into the Wolf River. The Fox actually travels north. It's an odd river, and that's where it starts. So in Oshkosh, we're going to be looking at the Fox, and then we're in Winneconne, we're going to be looking at the Wolf. And then when we're going to finish up, it's up here in Fremont, we're going to be again looking at the Wolf River. There's a little geography for everybody. Let's zoom in on these areas a little bit better here. So the area in Oshkosh on the Fox that we're going to be looking at is located right here. And this is actually Rainbow Park in this area. And at Rainbow Park here, we've got two little things. There's actually a boat launch, and then there's actually these things called the T-docks. You'll see me refer to those. Let me turn on the satellite view real quick so you guys can see those. So that's a good look at what the boat launches actually look like. There's a lot of very nice ramps there. They have an auto pay station that's located, I believe, right here or right here. Lots of parking. There's a bait shop located just next door. And then there are the T-docks just to the north. This is a big T-dock. It looks like the letter T. This river is actually flowing this direction, so south right here, into the city or into Lake Winnebago, and that from there it's going to flow out of Lake Winnebago into the Fox River, going into like the city of Neenah, and following up and following into De Pere, and then finally into the Green Bay itself. So let's turn off this aerial view and go over and look at the rest of the areas we're looking at. When we keep traveling up here, we're going over here to the city of Winneconne. Now, Winneconne has two ramps. Now, I'm going to zoom out for a second. So Winneconne is just to the northwest of Oshkosh. You get there on Highway 45. Now, in Winneconne, there are two fishing ramps right there, and then there is also a nice little Lake Winneconne Park with a lot, and I mean a lot of parking. So that is an excellent place to get access. There is also access over here on the west side. So there's an east and west fishing docks. We'll go into those a little bit later. I'm going to flip on the satellite view again so you can look at what I'm showing you. There's a small boat launch next to the Fin and Feather over here also that's much smaller than the one to the north. Look at all that parking at that one that's up to the north in that Lake Winneconne. That's a very nice facility up there. Just depends on what you're looking for. But when we zoom in a little bit further here, you can see both of those fishing docks. You do have to pay to fish on those. When you see the water just ripping through, which I'll show you shortly, it was this barge that's right here that I was looking at below the Highway 116 bridge. So it's just downstream. So again, the water is flowing that direction, so down that way. So we'll flip off this map again back over to the road map so you can again see where we're going. Now, when we traveled this direction, I actually went through some of the back roads here, so through Zeidel, I think it's pronounced. If it's Ziddle or Zeidel, I'm not really sure. If you know, let me know. And I actually went up the side roads along the Wolf here. Now, I'm just going to tell everybody, the Wolf is massively flooded above Lake Poygan. So in the Fremont area and parts north up to New London up here and up to Clintonville, I would avoid those areas. I feel really bad for anyone that's up in those areas. We'll look at that in a little bit. But where we did end up going in Fremont, which again, I would not go there. They've got sandbags, they've got floods. Just don't interfere with things. Just avoid this area right now. Okay, so when we were there, we actually went over here to the Fisherman's Park. Now, Fisherman's Park, it's actually a shore fishing opportunity located right underneath the highway. This whole area was just very, very flooded right now. So let that water come down. Let these people pick up the mess and recover from this disaster that happened. I can't get any flights up there because this is a disaster area at the moment, and it's just not legal to fly up there. So let's flip on the aerial view real quick. Just so you can see that one more time. So here's where Fremont is. Now, where I drove to, I kind of went, basically, I followed this road up from the southeast going to the west, kind of flipping right along there under the Highway 110 bridge. This is where you'll see the sandbags staged, and then I went over the top of the bridge here, ducked down right to this Fisherman's Park, then quickly left the area. I didn't want to interfere with any of the emergency operations and evacuations that are taking place. The area that is actually, that I looked at down in here, along this section going towards the east side of the river going towards Orahula, very, very flooded. Looking into the city of Fremont itself, downtown Fremont looks like the south section of that is very flooded. I don't know what's taking place north, but again, for right now, avoid those areas. Maybe call some local bait shops like Critters over there in Winneconne. They would probably be able to let you know what's going on. Or Moz over there in Fremont itself. Moz is located on the west side of town over in this direction off of 110. So that's kind of the areas we're going to be looking at. Let's dive into those reports now. Incidentally, this map will be available. I will have a link to it showing these locations so you can get to them on the show notes in YouTube. So if you're not on YouTube and you're seeing this like on Facebook or something, just please go over to YouTube to get those notes on there and make your comments on the YouTube page, please. Thank you. I'm down here in the city of Oshkosh right now at the city launch at Rainbow Park. Now that's the closest one to the highway bridge down here. Water levels are definitely up in this area as well. On the T-bridge here, we've only got one set of people out there fishing at the moment. And then down a little farther, we got one tiny boat putting into the water at the moment. So we're gonna just get out on this T-bridge and take a look at it real fast. But looks like it's fishable here if you want to fish from shore. Not a lot of people out though. You know, and things look rather interesting down here. Like I said, water's really moving. We've got one tiny boat going in down here at the end. We'll get to take a look at this once we get down here. Now, the docks are still not underwater down in this area. I'm walking on one of the T docks right now, or the T dock down here. But the actual launch docks are actually open. So if you've got a tiny boat like this one, you can also put in and probably get out down here. So this is a spot where you've got some access if you can get out down here. There's one family down here fishing. So far they said they caught one sheephead. So there's the tiny boat, just a little guy, little bitty thing. So it's good to see people with tiny boats being able to get out on the water and, spend some time out here. So more people, more power, more power if you can afford a tiny boat. Next place we're going to go to is we're going to go over to the city of Winneconne. And in Winneconne, we're going to take a look at their fishing docks. Now they've got two there. I drove past there yesterday and there is some people out there fishing. So we'll see what it looks like today. It is really windy today, so I don't know how many people will be out there, but we're going to head to Winneconne next. After Winneconne, we're going to head up to Fremont and look at that area, maybe down to Orahula. And that'll conclude the tour for today. I'm not going to go up and, even try to look at the area up around above Fremont, so up that direction. Not even going to go up that way. So that's the plan. All right, bye. Well, there goes the tiny boat. Just getting out. Definitely set up for panfish, you can tell. That's a panfish boat. And it's, you know, very inexpensive to run. Well, I am just getting down here in Winneconne, and oh my gosh, this is some seriously angry water. Look at this behind me. This is nothing to mess with the current and the extra rain and the wind. Oh boy, this is something I really don't think I'd be fishing in. There's one boat out here. I'm gonna make sure they're in the background right now, but there's that one boat that's out there behind me. They just put out one heck of a big Navy anchor. I think that's the name of it. But anyways, they're right behind me there. And man, let me tell you, this is just one nasty section of river right now. Like I said, this thing just looks angry beyond measure. Now on the dock I'm at, I'm on the one on the east side over here. There's only one guy out fishing. I'm looking ahead right over that way. And on that dock over there, there's only like 2 or 3 guys fishing. So not many people out here right now. You know, in terms of getting stuff, we'll check with this guy and see if he's getting anything, if he's willing to let me look in his bucket. But man, angry, angry, angry water. Okay, I talked to the guy that was fishing down at the end and he didn't get a thing. These poor guys in this boat, it looks miserable out here right now. I'm gonna show you the other side again so you can see this water just crashing against this barge down here. Check this out. That is not normal for down here. I mean, that is some serious water moving through here. I mean, I would wait, if you're traveling to come over here, I'd wait a little bit before coming up to this area. It just looks, like I said, this just looks angry. Okay, so the next place we're gonna be going to is I'm gonna go up to Fremont. We're gonna get a look at Fremont. We might go down to Orahula. So we'll be up a little higher than Orahula if we go there and then dipping down. Let's get a slow motion down here of this. So if you plan on fishing down here off these piers in Winneconne, just keep in mind they do charge a fee. It's $3 per day or $20 for an annual pass. There is some upkeep, I was told, considerable upkeep that needs to take place, and this helps pay for that. So I am down at the where you can launch your boat here at the park that's on the east side. So it's not over by the, I think it's the Fin and Feather over here. This is the other side. And, you know, it was still very, 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 very angry. Boat launch is not submerged, so you could still launch a boat over here. But look at all that debris built up on that boat ramp. I mean, that's a lot of debris built up on there. That's pretty crazy if you ask me. So anyways, this is open if you do want to launch from here. Now, traveling over to Fremont from down in Winneconne was interesting and very it's sad. I mean, the amounts of standing water, then the flooding that is taking place is pretty devastating. When I was looking at this, I looked up ways that we can help in this area and do something, and the United Way of the Fox Valleys has a place where you can donate. I am not a wealthy person by any means, but I did donate what I could and felt comfortable donating towards the relief fund for these people that are here. You know, looking at this, you can't help but want to do something. Looks like there were lots of volunteers filling sandbags, helping distribute sandbags. There were people out there with their large trucks that were able to get back to some places that were flooded. I saw people out with waders helping in areas to try to shore up sandbags around buildings and structures. But boy, you got to feel bad for people when you see this sort of destruction and this sort of thing happen. This is a natural disaster. You know, things happen, the rainfall, the situation with the dams up north farther. And this doesn't just affect the people of Fremont. This was also up in the town of New London, up in Clintonville, in the town of Marion. So if you have the means and want to help these people, you can follow the link over to the United Way and, you know, just donate what you feel comfortable with or can afford. I think the minimum donation on their site is $10. Those were massive amounts of sandbags. There goes another truck with sandbags going down to an area that needed to be shored up. The volunteer fire department was there to assist and help and look at things. This is the north side of the road going over, I believe this is the 110 here. This is going over the bridge in Fremont, kind of looking upstream, so looking towards the north here. And the amount of water that is in the system right now is not good for these communities. So again, if you can volunteer your time and are someone that can help, get in contact with the United Way. I'm sure they'll put you in touch with someone that can, you know, that where you can help, or if you can just donate a little money to these people, I think that'd be great. Now this is the highway bridge area where you can normally do some shore fishing, and basically the water is right up to the edge down here. I mean, normally you can walk all the way out there much, much, much farther than this. This is crazy, not cool. I mean, this is some serious water down here. I'm gonna get out of here so I'm not actually, you know, causing more of a burden. But boy, just look at this. For those of you that know this area, this is a serious amount of water down here. So at this point, I'm going to tell everybody I would not go fishing anywhere north of Winneconne. Down into Oshkosh looked pretty good, but as you can see here, up into the Fremont and up by Red Banks and parts north on the Wolf, will give them some time to recover from this. I don't know what this is going to be due to the spawning sturgeon and the walleyes and all the other fish that make their way into the system. If you have your thoughts, put it in the show notes. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned for more updates as the season progresses. This is Jason with Time in the Outdoors. Enjoy your time in the outdoors.